Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 13th day of November, 2025. I hope you're all safe and healthy today, that your family is safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in health, along with first responders, always trying to save lives. Those also that pick up garbage and keep our places clean and make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children, victims every day of child molestation and pedophilia. Those helping the people that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution, pornography and child pornography, human trafficking, and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, profiteers, and perverts that cause these industries to exist and hurt so many millions of people. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. More than 700,000 men, women, children, senior citizens, family, military veterans, homeless in the United States of America. Blessings upon them, for theirs is a kingdom. There was a basketball game at Madison Square Garden last night. New York Knicks lost to the Orlando Magic 124-107, and it wasn't that close. Orlando took it to the Knicks. Now, I was listening to the reporters' questions to both Mike Brown and the players. And I'm starting to understand, not only do sometimes reporters create narratives, they create narratives that actually can mess up the team. And the team has to ignore the narratives, which the Knicks do for the most part. They kept asking about Orlando's physicality. Orlando's always physical against the Knicks. When Mo Wagner was there today, he got hurt. When he got hurt, he was actually almost fouling out. He was so physical against the Knicks. They're always physical. They approach the Knicks with physicality. They always do. That's not what lost the game, though. I'm gonna tell you what happened. And I had to turn. I did not see Jalen Brunson get his ankle hurt. I was so disgusted I had to turn off the game. And I'll tell you why. From the opening possession, Brunson was out of sorts. Brunson saw Jalen Suggs guarding him and decided he had a fish and was trying to take Suggs. It was a trap. And I was disappointed that Brunson fell into it, and I was disappointed that Brown allowed him to fall into it. What do I mean? By trying to attack Suggs, you basically froze out the offense. Okay? Number one. Number two, in his over trying to attack Suggs and go one-on-one, he wore himself out so that defensively they were exploiting him. And this is the thing is, they would back him down under the basket, and then the Knicks players would come and try to help him. And then the Magic would find the open man, and the open man was consistently nailing the shot. Okay? That's how that was going. It opened up the deficit early. Because Brunson is the head of the snake. When we win, it's because he's playing right. When we lose, it's because he's playing wrong, and he was playing wrong last night. Okay? He was playing wrong. 20 assists is because he was hogging the ball. Period. Okay? He has to work within the flow that they have created. And I know people was talking about, it wasn't the back-to-back. It wasn't that. Okay? Orlando knew the Knicks were on the back-to-back, and again, they came physical to take advantage of that. You got to expect that. But there was no ball movement. It was very inconsistent. And it throws off the whole team because, like I said, when Brunson is trying so hard, he took 23 shots last night. It throws off Cat. Cat only had 15 shots last night. Okay? Brunson has got to start the game and continue the game. When I saw him dribbling the ball up, I knew it was a problem already. He should not be dribbling the ball up. Shamit, OG, McCall, they should be dribbling the ball up. He should start off the ball. And I noticed from the first possession, they started their offense with 16 seconds left on the clock. What's wrong with that? The goal is to start the offense with 21 seconds left on the clock, which means the ball has to move up the court fast, not be dribbled up. Okay? And so this is on Brunson. I'm basically saying it's on him. Okay, he's the captain. He's the head of the snake. Now, am I going to trip and say Brunson's finished Justin Watts like some idiot's going to do? No. I like that they got their ass kicked last night, and I'll tell you why. Somebody, who was it? Somebody came on the channel, and he was right. He was like, I don't know, this might be an L tonight, and I hate that. So I said, no, they're going to win tonight, just to defy that energy. And he was right. They didn't win last night. People love to be right about bad news, man. I'm not into it. But this is the thing. Brunson, when I saw that, the first possession, 16 seconds, 8 seconds I got off the clock by the time he starts the offense. And then he's going one-on-one. You can't win like that. This team is not built to win like that. This team is built to win the way they've been winning. 30 assists, ball movement, off-ball player movement. Now, when Deuce came in the game, and Brown went to him a little bit more last night, and I understand it. He did hit a couple of threes, but it wasn't that. Deuce moves the basketball. He moves the basketball. So when he's in the game, he's doing a lot of hockey assists because he's trying to get players in position. That's what he's doing. That's what he's trying to get done. I wish Brunson had done that. I wish he had. Okay, I wish he had. And that head of the snake is the reason I use that term, because when he is not off shooting, well, I'm not talking about his shots not falling. I'm talking about he's forcing. It throws the whole team off. It's on both sides of the ball. Because what you want to do when you're Brunson, which they usually do, if you're Brunson or Deuce, if you notice on defense, okay, you have to fight before you get to the paint. You cannot allow somebody to get you into the paint. The paint has to be protected in general. And if you're a Deuce or you're Brunson or you're Shamet or you're Josh Hart, you got to fight to not get pushed into the paint, because once they get you in the paint, they could break down the whole defense. And usually the Knicks have been doing a good job. Those guys have been doing a good job protecting the paint in that regard. You have to protect the paint. You got to keep them out the paint. You can't let them back you down, because once they get you in the paint, somebody's got to come help you, or you're on your own and they're going to score. And what they were doing, that is the magic. They were using Franz Wagner to create mismatches and getting him in mismatches, and then, of course, victimizing Brunson, victimizing Deuce, and you can't let them get you there. And they did it in transition. They would come quickly in transition. See, this is what the Knicks want to do. They would get the ball in transition quickly and run down the floor fast and get a Wagner. Mostly was Wagner, but get him in a mismatch situation with one of the smaller guards. Okay, because they were moving the ball quickly. The Knicks have got to apply pressure. The Knicks got to move the ball quickly, because then when you're moving the ball, and this is the thing, they interviewed Banchero before the game last night, and he said, we have to take them out of their game and make them play our game. And that's really the chess match that happens in every NBA game. Okay, it happens in every game. So the Knicks had to know that. That's why I was so disappointed to watch Brunson dribbling the ball, the air out of the ball coming up the floor. You got to know that's what they want you to do. They're afraid of you moving without the ball. They're afraid of the ball movement the Knicks are capable of, because if they do that, they will be in the game, see? And you got to sprint back. And then what happens is, when that happens, it starts to collapse. And then Karl Anthony Towns, who was tired. You could see he was a little tired from the night before. I was a little concerned that he played, 36, 38 minutes the night before. I didn't like that, because I was like, that's not what you want. You don't want, if the first night were back-to-back and you're winning the game, you don't want to be having your big man out there all of those minutes, man. So that was a mistake on Coach Brown. And all of this talk about Tibbs and Tibbs overplaying his players, So last night against Memphis, the night before last against Memphis, Towns played 32 minutes, Anunoby 36, Bridges 38, and Brunson 36. That's too many minutes. That's too many. Okay? If you're going to use 10 guys, use them. Okay? Especially the first night of a back-to-back. Use them. You did not need those guys to play all of those minutes to win that game against Memphis. And that's why when Karl Anthony Towns particularly, you could tell when he's tired. You know when he's tired? Number one, he starts arguing with the refs every play. He's calling for a foul every play. He's calling and one every play instead of just playing the game. Number two, he starts jogging instead of sprinting. Okay, and that's what happened last night. That's what happened last night. Okay, he didn't consistently sprint back on defense. And he's going to always do that. That's him. You know, I know people say, well, we can improve that. No, he's going to do that. So what the key is not to overplay him. You play him a little less minutes and keep him fresh. Okay? Because when he's fresh, he's he's great. But when he starts feeling tired and when you start seeing him, that's why Coach Brown said I was disappointed. He was talking about Karl Anthony Towns mostly, arguing with the refs instead of playing the damn game. Listen here, man. I mentioned this a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday. The refs have actually been doing a better job since the NBA has been looking closely at this gambling situation, because they got to be under, the microscope now, because you got to look at the refs and see if they're involved with this mess, right? So the games have been called a little better. Now, I got to admit, they were a little, the refs were, especially there was a brother out there, I don't know. But you can't let that stop you from playing your game. Okay? And so they did it last night. They, like I said, it started with Brunson trying to go one-on-one too much. It spread out to Towns. Everybody else was frozen out. Okay? So and this is what happens. When you freeze out your own guys, they don't get consistent shots in their consistent spots, and then they'll start missing. Okay? It's like coming into the game cold. The first thing, and I always remember the big old Oscar Robinson. Oscar Robinson was a bit of a ball hog too, but what he used to do is he used to wait to the fourth quarter to hog the ball. He'd be passing it. He wanted to make sure everybody, he had an assist on everybody before. And so the first half, first quarter, second quarter, he's passing the ball, making sure everybody's involved. And then when the game was on the line in the fourth, he would take over. Brunson's got to take more of that. He got suckered last night. And I'm disappointed because he's smarter than that. Because I know Brunson is smarter than that. He's smarter than that. He really is. He's got to look at this. He's got to look at the tape and realize what happened. And Coach Brown, I was a little bit disappointed in him, because when I seen, it was the first possession. It was like the first 3 or 4 possessions, Brunson's bringing the ball up against pressure. The whole point is to not have him do that. He should have called timeout and stopped that right away. Stop that right away. Move the freaking ball. Okay? But they did. And it showed. Look, 20 assists. Come on, man. We've been getting 30 assists every night. 28, 29, 30, 32, 35. 20 assists. Come on, man. And Brunson had 6, but he had the ball in his hand all the time. He gonna get the most assists if you always got the ball. No, man. The ball's got to move. It's got to move, and it should move. It should move better than that. It should. It's got to move better. Okay, you can't be doing that. Can't. So I'm looking for Friday. Now, listen. I know he hurt his ankle. That is JB. If he's out, fine. Go with Deuce at the start. The ball's gonna move. I can tell you that. They're gonna play defense. I can tell you that. Okay, especially if you playing Mitchell Robinson. Now you're going to have Deuce with the regular crew, and then you have Shamrock off the bench. Now, if Mitch is sitting, which he shouldn't, he played last night, was Wednesday. So it's a night off, and you still home. Mitch Rob should be playing against Miami on Friday. Not only that, they're going, Khalil Ware is on a tear, man. He had 20 rebounds the other night. We better come ready, because Miami's going to come. You think they're going to be less than Orlando? They're going to come just as hard. The Knicks have got to stay in their game. That is, protect the paint from the perimeter, number 1. Move the basketball, number 2. This is the key to the Knicks right now. Protect the paint, move the basketball. Brunson took it upon himself last night to try to win the game. Fourth quarter, fine. First quarter, no. That's a trap. And I understood. He looked at Suggs and said, oh, man, I can take this guy anytime. But even if you can, see, it's like a boxing match, right? In a championship boxing match, right? Even though one fighter has figured out the other fighter, he going to wait to the right time to throw the haymaker. He's not going to just throw, great boxers don't just throw haymakers all the time to knock the guy. I mean, Tyson was doing it at some point and messed him up. He was better when he could see what his opponent's weaknesses was and then wait to the right moment to throw the haymaker. And that would be it, right? Or Floyd Mayweather. He's even losing rounds in the beginning to figure out the guy. Once he figures him out, though, then he's counting him. He's beating him to the punch. He's slipping punches because now he's figured out the guy. Brunson don't have to take Suggs from opening jump. You got to figure him out and then wait. Once you figure out that you could take him, fourth quarter come, take him. Abuse him then. See? He messed up. He messed up bad last night. And that, like I said, I saw it from the first possession. I was like, this ain't no good. You can't be having 16 seconds left on the clock starting your offense. The ball has to move up the floor faster than that. It should be up the floor in 3 seconds. It really should. There's no reason why you can't have McCall or Shamet or OG get that ball up the floor faster and get it to the 5 spot. Like, in other words, you have Karl Anthony Towns flashing high post. You get the ball up the court fast with them other guys. You have Brunson taking pressure off because now he's off ball and now the ball gets up quicker. And then you could get Brunson the ball and start the offense. But you don't start bounding the ball up the floor. This was like last year's offense we saw last night. That ain't going to work. Okay? You should be playing the new way. This is why we had 5 straight wins. All good, though. Like I said, I'm glad this happened because I want them to look at that film, which I know they're going to do. Okay? I don't know if Brunson going to play Friday or not. He's tough enough. We all know he might show up and play even if he's hurt. But I want him to come back healthy, and I want him to look at that film. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be the way he is. Like, you know how Juju is our problem child. Like, depending on his mindset, what you're going to get out of him, right? It's the same with Towns to a lesser degree. If Towns' mind is messed up, you're going to see what you saw last night. Arguing with the refs, you're going to see him, loafing a little bit. You're going to see him pissed off, and that's what happened last night. Okay, he got 12 boards last night because he's big and strong, right? He going to get rebounds now, but he only got 2 offensive rebounds. Mitch Rob had 5 offensive rebounds. We had 10 offensive rebounds for the game. They had 12. They out-rebounded us 49-37. You ain't going to win like that. You ain't going to win like that, okay? So, and OG, 34 minutes, 8 points, 4 boards. No. He was +1, though. He was the only starter plus. Okay? And he was playing some defense now. But we come to expect more from OG. Okay? So I'm expecting them. I'm not going to see the game live Friday. Of course, I'm going to tape it. But I'm expecting them to come out Friday playing the freaking game the way they're supposed to play. The ball movement on the offensive end of the basketball, protecting the paint on the defensive end of the basketball. Okay? Protecting the paint. Okay? Mitch Rob did what he's supposed to do. I mean, he had 8 boards. He had 5 offensive rebounds. He did what he's supposed to do. Okay? But, again, you can't just have one guy. Everybody's got to, this is a team. Everybody got to do what they got to do, man. And McCall was atrocious last night. Minus 19. That's why Coach Brown had Deuce in there at the end. Okay, McCall was bad last night. And sometimes you're going to get that. I mean, everybody has bad nights. Last night was McCall Bridges' bad night. Okay, he's going to have many good nights, as we know. He's had many good nights already. He's going to have more. He's been killing this year. So, look at the film. Get back to what you do. What you've been training to do since Brown became the coach. Get back to that. Play your game. Don't let anybody take you out your game. And the Knicks are so good. They're so talented. They don't have to allow a team to take them out the game. They don't. They could play the game the way they want to play it. Nobody could stop them from doing that because they got so much talent. You tell me last night you couldn't have McCall or OG dribble that ball up the court? You had to do it yourself? What, they're going to press those two and they're going to lose the ball? No. No. You telling me you couldn't protect the paint? Yes, you could have. Anyway, that's my rant for today. I was disappointed in Jalen Brunson last night. He got suckered. Jamal Mosely, hats off. He suckered our boy. Okay, he got drawn in. Drawn into this, and he was trying. Brunson is competitive. He's gonna be competitive every possession. Okay, that's him. But you cannot let them take you out of your game, man. See, and that's what he did last night. So, be better in terms of mentally. It's a mental game, and that's why I was disappointed because Brunson usually wins mental games. Last night he did. So we got to come back on Friday against Miami and look, win, lose, or draw. Play your game. See, if we win the rebounding battle, if we're protecting the paint, and we're controlling the turnovers and the ball is moving and we get 30 assists, okay, we'll take the outcome. Whatever. Because we usually going to win that game. We usually are. So that's what we need to get back to. It's really a mental game. It's as simple as that. I saw that last night. I was totally disappointed in our guys on the bench. Last night, the bench scored 35. That's about, even, and Clarkson was the only positive one. Deuce was minus, what was Deuce last night? -9, Shamet -3, Hart -16, and Clarkson +4. So Clarkson was at least trying his best, last night, but we got to do better. So yeah, you can't. I mean, if you get 35 points from your bench, you got good production there. Yeah, they just, like I said, from the opening tip, they was off their game. Period. Opening tip. Okay, so I don't know how much time was left. I think I saw somebody hit a dagger 3 at the end of the fourth, like near the end of the fourth quarter. I forgot who it was. It might have been De Silva. Hit a dagger 3, and I was like, okay, that's it. Ball game. I couldn't even watch no more because the Knicks weren't playing their game. Okay, and then it must have been after that Brunson hurt his ankle. Okay. I mean, as long as it ain't broke, he's going to come back. I'm not really worried about that. I feel he's going to come back. Even if he has to miss a couple of games, it's okay. We'll be all right. Okay? But knowing him, man, he's going to rest today. He probably wants to play tomorrow. And they'll probably tell him wait. And then he has, then after that, he'll probably come back and play. I think the Knicks play again. I think they play Miami twice. Let me just double check the schedule here. But I think they play Miami twice. Let me see here. They play Miami. Yeah, they play Miami twice. So they'll hopefully, if his ankle's bad enough that he had to wear a boot, sit him down on Friday and let him come back Monday. Surely he'll be wanting to come back Monday, even if he's on one leg. Okay. That's him. And it's a great thing, but when he's not right, it's not good for us, right? So play Shamet and Deuce and John Clarkson, and let's run with them against Miami. But the most important thing, play your game. We'll get over it. Y'all enjoy your Thursday. Be safe out there. Sure.